Hello everyone. In this video we look at the types of ionic lattices and we'll discuss little bit in detail about the two important ionic lattice types. One is the rock salt structure, which is the sodium chloride structure, and other one is the cesium chloride structure. We also take a look at some of the other prominent types of ionic lattices, which is the zinc blende structure or ZNS structure, and fluoride structure, calcium fluoride. So here mostly we'll get questions related to the examples of different types of ionic lattice types, etc. But we can also have scope for numerical questions where we will be relating the cation radius and the anion radius. So we'll take a look at it. Now if you look at the ionic compounds as such, ionic compounds, most of them they will be in these two categories. Either we'll have AB type of ionic compounds or we'll be having AB2 type of ionic compounds. So why we will have most of the ionic compounds in these two particular formula types is because if you look at AB type of an ionic compound, it can be formed by a monovalent cation and monovalent anion, or a divalent cation and divalent anion. AB2 will be formed by monovalent cation and divalent anion, or divalent cation and monovalent anion. Generally, if you have a valency of 3, either 3 plus or 3 minus and more, as we have studied in chemical bonding chapter +1, Fazan's rules, that will be preferring the nature of bond to become more polar covalent. So instead of being an ionic compound, higher charge on either the cation or anion, that will be moving the nature of the bond more towards the covalent characteristics. So we have examples of ionic compounds where the cation or anion may be trivalent, but there are very few of them. So we limit our focus to the types of ionic compounds which are in either AB type or AB2 type. Now if you look at any ionic compound as such, the way we will visualize them is since the bigger ions will be the anions comparatively in most of the cases, the anions will be usually forming the space lattice, whether it is the HCP or CCP type. So they will form the space lattice, and cations are going to occupy the interstitial sites or the voids. So anions will be forming the space lattice, and in between we'll have the voids. Already we discussed about the two common types of voids previously. One is a tetrahedral void and the other one is the octahedral void. In this video we look at some of the other types of voids also, but once the anions are forming the lattice, the cations will be going and occupying the voids. So this is how we are going to visualize the ionic lattice formation. And if you see the case where anions are forming the lattice and all the octahedral voids, remember we have discussed about it in the previous video, the number of, if the lattice points are n, then the number of octahedral voids also will be equal to n. So if anions are forming the lattice and cations are occupying all the octahedral voids, then what will be the simple ratio of them? N is to n means it will be 1 is to 1. So we'll have the compound AB. The other possibility is if anions are forming the lattice, means we have like n number of anions, and the cations are occupying only half the tetrahedral voids. Remember, the number of tetrahedral voids will be 2n. If the number of lattice points is n, means number of tetrahedral voids will be 2 times n. This we have discussed in the previous video already. So the cations are occupying not all the tetrahedral voids. Cations are occupying only what? Half of the tetrahedral voids. Means here also the cations count becomes again n. So the simple formula is going to become what? AB. So in these two cases we will be seeing that typically the compounds of AB will get formed. And if we have the anions forming the lattice and cations occupying all the tetrahedral voids. So if the cations are occupying all the tetrahedral voids, means we'll have 2n particles of A. B will be N. So what will be the simple formula here? The simple formula will be A to B. And if it is the reverse, means if the cations are forming the lattice and anions are occupying all the tetrahedral voids, then what we are going to have, we will be having, instead of A to B, we will be having AB2 type of formula. So we'll see, I mean, when we say that anions will form the lattice, this is on a broader level, but we can also have examples where the cations might form the lattice and anions might go and occupy the voids. That is also possible. So if you look at what determines which type of void, because the geometry is going to be decided by the type of voids where the cations are going to occupy. So the relative ratio between the cations and anions, or we can say the radius ratio simply, is the parameter based upon which the choice or the suitability of the voids will be decided. So if you look at the examples that we have, if the radius ratio between the cations and anions, the radius of the cation by the radius of the anion, if it is in the range of 0.155 to 0.225, then the geometry of the void will be having is a plane trigonal geometry, which means if we have the three anions which are occupying the corners of an equilateral triangle, then the void that is created in between them, right, that is what we will be calling as the plane trigonal void. And this void is going to be taken by the cations. This happens in compounds like boron oxide. And as we can see here, in this case, the coordination number will be 3. Remember, in the normal metallic compounds, what we discuss as coordination number is the number of nearest neighbors. But in this case of ionic compounds, coordination number is defined as the number of nearest opposite type of ions. So here the coordination number will be what? If you look at a cation, it is surrounded by 3 anions. So coordination number will be 3. And if we have the radius ratio between 0.225 to 0.414, so remember guys, we have to keep a note of these radius ratios, because based upon the radius ratio only, the geometry of the void where the cation is going to occupy is decided. If you have the radius ratio between 0.225 to 0.414, then the voids that will be taken by the cations are what? Tetrahedral voids. Remember, we discussed about it. What is a tetrahedral void? If we have say for example 3 atoms forming a triangle, and there is a fourth, so all these are anions. Fourth anion is coming and sitting on top of the depression. So every triangle will be forming a depression. So there will be depression in the triangle, and the fourth anion is coming and sitting on top of the depression. So between these 4 there is a void that is created. So we talked about the tetrahedral voids in the previous video, and if the tetrahedral void is taken by the cation, in that case the coordination number then becomes what? We can see every cation will be surrounded by how many anions? It will be surrounded by 4 anions. So the geometry of the void will be tetrahedral and coordination number is 4. We have zinc blende structure, ZNS. This is a very famous example in this category, and we will see when we go to the discussion, the zinc blende, though the geometry of the voids is tetrahedral, we can have 2 possible arrangement of the ZNS. One is what we call as the normal zinc blende structure, and the other one is the Wurtzite structure. So we'll discuss about what is the difference between the two, and more about this ZNS as we go there. But this is for the radius ratio between 0.225 to 0.414. If you have the radius ratio between 0.414 to 0.732, then the cations will be taking the octahedral voids. So octahedral voids also we discussed about it. If we have a triangular combination of anions like the upright triangle, and we have another inverted triangle, it's like this, we have one upright triangle and one inverted triangle. So in between the core of these 6 anions, right, we'll have the octahedral void, and inside this if you are keeping a cation, means that will be surrounded by how many types of anions? 6 anions. So sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, they will be the examples of compounds that will have this geometry. So the coordination number in this case will be what? 6. This is what we also commonly called as the rock salt structure. If we have the radius ratio between 0.73 to 1, then the geometry of the void will be cubic. what is a cubic void? If we have say for example the anions sitting at the corners, all the anions are sitting at the corners of an simple cubic arrangement or primitive arrangement. At the body center we'll see that there is an void. That body center void is basically called as the cubic void. Why? Because it is like at the center of the cube, and if you are keeping an cation there, it will be surrounded by 8 anions. That is why the coordination number there becomes what? 8. So why we are always, and sometimes this kind of geometry is also called as BCC in ionic compounds, though it's not a right word to use. It is also commonly called as what? BCC. Remember, for the metallic lattice types, BCC means what? The atoms of the metal will be at the corners of the cube, and also one metal atom will be sitting at the body center. Here it is not like that. The anions will be occupying the corners and the cation will be sitting at the body center. This is generally. We can also have cases where cations are occupying the corners and the anion will be sitting at the body center, vice versa. So this type of arrangement is what we call as the cesium chloride type of arrangement. Now there is an importance for the coordination number in terms of the stability of the structure. So we'll talk about that also when we cover these important class of ionic structures. So we'll start with first the rock salt structure or the sodium chloride type of structure. If you look at the sodium chloride type of structure, as such sodium chloride itself, right, it is composed by what? Na plus ions and Cl minus ions, and the compound formula is what? NaCl, means whatever is the number of Na plus sodium atoms will be equal to number of chlorine atoms, or whatever the number of sodium ions will be equal to number of chloride ions. And the radius of Na plus and Cl minus values are 95 picometer and 181. So if you look at the ratio, right, what is the ratio coming as? 95. Always you have to take what? Cation radius by anion radius. 95 by 181 will be what? Approximately 0.524. And we'll see that this is in which range? This is in the range of 0.4142 to 0.732. And the arrangement in sodium chloride type of structure will be that the chloride ions will be forming the CCP or cubic close packing, which means the Cl minus ions will be present at the corners as well as at the center of each face of the cube. And we can also call this as the anions forming the FCC arrangement. So in the sodium chloride type of an salt structure, the anions will be occupying the FCC lattice positions. So we can see over here the Cl minus ions, they are occupying the FCC, the white colored ones, corners as well as face center. Now we'll talk about the positions of the Na plus. The sodium ions are present at all octahedral voids. What are octahedral voids? Octahedral voids are basically one we'll have at the body center, and each edge center will be having the sodium plus ions. We can see over here the dark color ones. So one is at the body center and the other ones are what? Other ones are at the edge center. So the total number of octahedral voids will be equal to number of lattice point. This calculation we already done in the previous video. I mean, you can probably go and check it. Body center contribution will be 1 full, and each edge is shared by 4 unit cells. So contribution will be 1 by 4 into there are 12 edge centers. So totally the number of Na plus ions in that unit cell will be what? 4. So the number of Cl minus ions, because they are forming FCC, it will be 4. Number of Na plus ions will be what? Because they are occupying the octahedral sites, it will be equal to 4. Thereby what we see is the ratio is what? The simple ratio is 1:1. So that is how we are able to match what is observed. So what is generally observed is the count ratio is 1:1. And as per the geometry also we are able to conclude why it is becoming 1:1, because if Cl minus is forming CCP, means per unit cell we will have 4 Cl minus ions. And if Na plus is occupying the octahedral sites, means per unit cell there will be same 4 number of Na plus ions. So thereby the stoichiometry becomes what? 1:1. And if you look at the number of octahedral voids, so the number of octahedral voids around each Cl minus ion will be 6. which means what? The Cl minus ion will be surrounded by 6 Na plus ions. Similarly, the concept of octahedral void itself, how the octahedral void comes? If you have a triangular arrangement of anions and another inverted triangular arrangement, totally it will be 6 anions. So if the 6 anions are surrounding the octahedral site, means the Na plus will be surrounded by 6 Cl minus ions. So therefore the coordination number will be 6. 6:6 coordination number is what we call it as. So each Na plus will be surrounded by 6 Cl minus ions. Each Cl minus will be surrounded by 6 Na plus ions. Why are we calling as 6:6 is because we will see some compounds where the coordination number of the cations will be different from the coordination number of the anions. Now the count of ions, as we have just discussed, if you look at the overall count, we will be having 4 sodium ions and 4 chloride ions per unit cell. So how do we calculate it? The chloride ions will be as per the FCC calculation, 8 will be sitting at the corner, 8 into 1 by 8, and 6 will be sitting at the face centers, so 6 into half. Totally it becomes what? 4. And the sodium ions calculation, they will be 12 at the edge centers, each will be having contribution 1 by 4, because an edge center, remember we discussed about this in the first video of the chapter, edge center, the contribution for the unit cell will be what? 1 by 4, and at the body center the contribution will be fully for the unit cell. So 12 into 1 by 4 plus 1 is going to be what? Totally 4. So we will be having 4 Na plus ions and 4 Cl minus ions. Now this is where I was talking about the numerical application. So the radius relation of cation and anion, right, is where we'll have numerical problem scope. This kind of questions we'll generally get on one, the rock salt structure, and second is the cesium chloride structure. So what is the radius relation? If you look at an sodium chloride type of an arrangement, we said we'll have the chloride ions sitting at the corners. So I'm looking at one edge, I'm focusing on one edge. So chloride ions are sitting at the corners, and the centers of the atoms will be taken by the positions of the corner. And where is the Na plus going to come? Na plus is exactly going to come over here. So because Na plus is occupying where? Na plus is occupying the edge center. So edge centers are taken by what? The Na plus ions. So if you look at one edge length as A, then this is what? Radius of the, from here we are calculating radius of the anion. And this is the diameter of the cation, means what? 2 times the radius of the cation, and this is again radius of the anion. So what we have is r minus plus 2r plus r minus, that is the total edge length. So which is 2 into r plus r minus. So what we have overall is r plus r minus will be equal to A by 2. So the radius of the cation plus radius of the anion, right, will be equal to what? A by 2, where A is what? A will be the edge length. And in this in ionic compounds, since this cation and this anion, they both will be connected to each other in close proximity. If we look at the value of r plus r minus, this is also called as the shortest possible distance between the anion and cation, because after all they have to cover the radius of the anion and radius of the cation, right? So between these two centers, what is the value going to be? R minus plus r plus. So the r plus r minus value is also called as what? Shortest distance between the anion and the cation. So in sometimes the kind of questions they can ask is, they will say for the NaCl type of an ionic substance, the edge length is some 400 picometer. Then they will ask what is the shortest distance between the anion and the cation, means what they are asking? R plus r minus value. So what is r plus r minus value? It is going to be A by 2. So they are giving A, means you can find what is the value of A by 2. So like this we will be having questions on the radius relation, and we will look at the radius relation in case of the cesium chloride also. So this is broadly what we have to cover about the sodium chloride or NaCl type of the salt structure. And if you look at what are the examples of the substances that will have the NaCl type of structure, we have most of the halides of alkali metals. and the oxides and sulfides of alkaline earth metals. Remember, this will be in which form? It will be in the AB type of form. So most of the halides of alkali metals and oxides and sulfides of alkaline earth metals, they will be having this structure, like sodium iodide, potassium chloride, rubidium iodide, rubidium fluoride, and AgBr, AgCl, AgI. So all of them which will be in the form AB type. Even ammonium chloride, ammonium bromide, because ammonium ion is like A and bromide ion is like what? B. So this is what we will be having in terms of the examples of the rock salt structure. And even the ferrous oxide, which is FeO. So we'll have two oxides of iron. One is the ferrous oxide FeO, other is the ferric oxide Fe2O3. Ferrous oxide also will have the rock salt type of structure, where the oxide ions will be forming the CCP, and Fe2 plus ions will be forming the octahedral void, or they will be occupying the octahedral void. So these are the examples of the rock salt type of structure. Now we will go into the other important type of ionic lattice, which is the cesium chloride type of ionic lattice, because these two are very important in terms of the questions. If you look at most of the questions, right, they would have come from these two, the rock salt structure and the cesium chloride type of structure. So if you look at cesium chloride, it will be consisting of what? Cesium plus ions and Cl minus ions. The radius ratio, cesium radius is 169 picometer and chlorine is what? 181. If you look at the ratio, right, the ratio will be coming as what? 169 by 181 will be 0.93, and 0.732 to 1 is basically the geometry we have for the cations to take the cubic void. So this 0.93 is in between these two values, but it is relatively higher than 0.732. So if it is exactly 0.732 means we'll have a proper cubic void being occupied by the cation, but it is relatively higher than 0.732. As a result of it, we'll see what is going to happen. So this is what is the cesium halide type of structure, where we have the cation which is occupying the body center, and the anions are basically forming the simple cubic primitive lattice. The anions are sitting at the corners of the lattice. So what we'll be having is the chloride ions will be forming the simple cubic arrangement, and the cesium ions will occupy the cubic interstitial sites, which is nothing but the body center. And if you want to look at it in a very simple manner, it's basically like the Cl minus are sitting at the corners and the cesium ion is sitting at the body center. And this is what we are discussing for the cesium chloride. We can also have cases where the cations will be forming the the simple cubic arrangement, and the anion will be sitting at the body center. That is also possible. So if you look at each cesium ion which is sitting at the body center, it is surrounded by what? 8 chloride ions. And each chloride ion will also be surrounded by 8 cesium ions. Means the coordination number will be what? 8. So we can say it is 8:8. So each cation is surrounded by 8 anions. Each anion is also surrounded by 8 cations. In case of sodium chloride, what was it? It was 6:6. So what we see is cesium chloride, the coordination number is high. And this is what I was discussing about it. If we look at the exact ratio of the radius of the cation to the radius of the anion, if it is 0.732 means we would have been having a proper packing of atoms, but this is slightly higher. So as a result of it, what will be happening is that the cubical arrangement will slightly open up. So if it is like proper packing means the cation will be able to sit properly at the body center, but since this is relatively higher in terms of size, the cubical arrangement will be a little bit opening up. So we'll see the anions will be relatively opening up to accommodate the larger cation. Okay, so that is what will be the outcome of this cation. So remember, in any case we have a question like this where they will ask why it is slightly distorted. So always the ionic lattice distortions will come when the radius ratios do not exactly match. So like in this case, right, why the cesium chloride will be having a little bit open structure is because of the cation radius being higher. Now if you count the number of cesium ions and number of chloride ions in the unit cell, since chloride ions are at the corners, 8 corners are there, contribution is 1/8. So the number of chloride ions will be what? 1 for the unit cell. And cesium, there is only one sitting at the body center, so it is fully for the unit cell, contribution is 1. So the number of cesium chloride units in a particular cell is going to be what? 1. There will be one cesium plus ion and one chloride ion. And talking about the radius relation, this is an important parameter that we discussed in the case of NaCl also. So what was the relation we had in the NaCl? R plus plus R minus is equal to A by 2. This was the relation we had in the case of the NaCl type. Now in case of cesium chloride type of an salt, the relation will be R plus R minus will be equal to A into root 3 by 2. So we'll see how that comes. So here instead of R plus we are taking it as what? Radius of the cesium. R minus we are taking it as what? Radius of the anion. So before we look at the examples, right? So the common examples of this cesium chloride type of are the cesium halides and the monovalent thallium halides, because we'll discuss about this in the 13th group. Thallium +1 oxidation state is more stable than +3 because of what we call as the inert pair effect. Okay, so I hope you are able to recall this concept. So the thallium, the +1 oxidation state will be more stable. So cesium halides and thallium monohalides, they are examples of the cesium chloride type of salt. So if you look at the radius relation in this cube, right, the body diagonal means the diagonal that connects one corner to the exactly opposite side corner. Body diagonal value, this derivation also we have done in the previous video where we were looking at the radius relations in a metallic lattice. Body diagonal will be root 3 times A. Face diagonal, the diagonal of the face will be root 2A. So body diagonal, if you see it, right, so we'll have along the body diagonal the anion, the cation and the anion. So R minus plus, we are covering the diameter of the cation, means 2R plus R minus, this will be equal to what? Root 3A. Means 2 into R plus R minus will be equal to what? Root 3A. So R plus R minus will be equal to what? Root 3A by 2. So this is what we also call the R plus R minus value, right? This will be what? The shortest distance between the anion and the cation. So like the way we have discussed about this in the case of NaCl, here also the R plus R minus value will be called as what? The shortest distance between the anion and the cation. So this is about the relation between the radius of the cation and radius of the anion and the edge length. So we look at a sample problem on this. Cesium chloride has a BCC structure with cesium at the center and Cl minus ions at each corner. If cesium radius is 1.69 angstrom unit and chloride ion radius is 1.81 angstrom unit. Remember what is angstrom unit? Angstrom unit will be how much? 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. What is the edge length of the cube? So they are representing A for the edge length. That is the common notation. So what is the formula we have? R plus R minus is equal to what? Root 3 into A by 2. So what is R plus value? 1.69 angstroms. What is R minus value? 1.81 angstroms is equal to what? Root 3 A by 2. So 1.69 plus 1.81, this will be how much? 3.5 angstroms is equal to root 3A by 2. So we are looking for A value, right? Means A will be finally what? A will be 3.5 angstroms into 2 by root 3 will come. So this will be like what? 3.5 into, this will be 7 angstroms by 1.732, because root 3 will be what? 1.732. So we'll see approximately this will be some 4.04 like that will come. That is the value of, so the correct answer is what? Option C. So these are the kind of questions we can expect. So we'll have straight questions, or otherwise what they can ask, they can give us the edge length and one ion they will give the radius. They will give either the cation radius or the anion radius, and they will ask us to find the other one. So we have only one simple equation. So in case of NaCl type of structure, what is it? We have to remember both the formulas. R plus R minus is equal to A by 2. That was for the NaCl. For the cesium chloride, what is it? R plus R minus is equal to root 3A by 2. So these are the two formulae that we need to remember. Now we'll come to the zinc blend structure or sphelerite structure, the normal zinc blend structure. So from here onwards we'll have mostly the theoretical questions. So what happens in a normal zinc blend structure is the composition of the zinc blend will depend upon the radius of the cation and radius of the anion. So if you look at the radius of the cation, which is zinc 2 plus, it is 74 picometer. Radius of the anion is 184. So see the ratio will be 74 by 184, it will be 0.4. So remember the range is what, 0.225 to 0.414. That is the range for the cations to occupy the tetrahedral voids. So this is in that range. So the zinc blend structure, the cations will be occupying the tetrahedral voids. And if you look at what is then normal zinc blend structure or a sphelerite structure, the sulfide ions will form CCP or FCC kind of an arrangement. We can see the sulfide ions, basically they are forming the CCP or FCC. Corners they are there, and they are at the face centers, the black color ones. So the sulfide ions are forming what? CCP. And the zinc ions will occupy tetrahedral holes, but they will not occupy all the tetrahedral holes, because the number of tetrahedral voids will be what? Twice the number of lattice points. The zinc ions will only occupy half of the tetrahedral voids. So since they are occupying only half of the tetrahedral voids, right, what will be the ratio between them? It is going to be 1:1. And the important thing that we need to remember is what? The sulfide ions are forming the CCP, and zinc ions are occupying only what? Half or alternative tetrahedral voids. They are occupying only half or alternative tetrahedral voids. We can see here how many zinc are there inside. There will be only 4 of them. So inside there will be only how many? 4 of them. So thereby the ratio becomes what? 4:4. So this is what is the normal zinc blend structure or sphelerite structure. And if you look at each tetrahedral void, the zinc ion will be surrounded by 4 sulfide ions, and similarly each sulfide ion will be surrounded by 4 zinc ions. So the ratio will be what? 4:4. The coordination number in this case will be how much? 4. And remember, we have been talking about the coordination number importance. So we'll see what is the exact importance of the coordination number after a while. So coordination number decides the relative stability of the structures. Higher the coordination number means what? We'll be having more electrostatic attractive forces, because each ion is attracted by the opposite of ions, means that the kind of lattice will be what? More stable. If we look at the exact fitting of the zinc 2 plus ions in the void, then we must have the ratio should be what? The least, which is the 0.225. Remember where it is starting? It is starting from 0.225 to the highest value is what? 0.414. So what is the exact value for the radius ratio for the zinc 2 plus and the sulfide ions? It is 0.4, means it is higher than 0.225. So what happens as a result of it is, because we'll see the opening up like the way we had in the case of cesium chloride. Now the count of atoms or ions per unit cell, if you look at the sulfide ions, they are forming CCP, means what? The number of atoms is going to be 8 corners, 8 into 1 by 8, 6 face centers, 6 into half. Totally it will be what? 4. Zinc are occupying alternative tetrahedral voids. 4 will be, the totally 8 tetrahedral voids will be there inside the body. Alternative means only 4 of them are occupied. So contribution will be what? 4. So totally the contribution of zinc ions will be what? 4. Contribution of sulfide ions also will be 4. I'm talking about the examples of the zinc blend structure. We have copper chloride, copper bromide, copper iodide, silver iodide, beryllium sulfide, BES. All of them are basically examples of the zinc blend type of structure or sphelerite structure. Now we said there is one more form in which the ZNS can exist, and that is what we call as the Wurtzite form. So what is this Wurtzite form? Wurtzite form, the difference is here also we'll have the cations will be occupying the tetrahedral voids. Alternate tetrahedral voids is where the cations will occupy. There is no difference in that, but the difference will be coming in terms of the arrangement of the sulfide ions. Remember, in the normal zinc blende structure, sulfide ions are forming what? Sulfide ions are forming CCP. Here, sulfide ions will form the HCP arrangement. And the zinc will be occupying the tetrahedral voids. They will not occupy all the tetrahedral voids. They will be occupying only half of them or alternative tetrahedral voids. So the difference between the normal zinc blende structure and the woodside structure is, in the woodside structure we are having what? The anions forming the HCP instead of CCP. That's it. But still the cations will be occupied in the tetrahedral voids, alternative tetrahedral voids. So the overall ratio of the cations and anions will be 1:1. So the formula will be same and coordination number also will be same. So here tetrahedral void means what? Coordination number will be 4. So this is about the alternative structure of ZNS. And for the zinc blende structure, there is another importance. So zinc blende structure has got something similar with the structure of the diamond. That's why we also keep saying in our lower standards, right? What we talk about the diamond, we'll say diamond will be having tetrahedral 3-dimensional geometry. This is a common word that we'll use about diamond. So, and we'll say graphite will have a layered structure. So what is this diamond structure, and what is the similarity between the diamond structure and the zinc blende structure? If you look at the zinc blende structure, right, what we'll be having in a zinc blende structure, we will be having the zinc 2 plus ions surrounded by 4 sulfide ions, and each sulfide ion is surrounded by 4 zinc 2 plus ions. This is what we have in the zinc blende structure, and these are surrounded by in what? Tetrahedral geometry. Now think about it. The cations and anions, both of them are replaced by carbon atoms. So in zinc blende structure, what we are having? There are 4 cations in the unit cell and 4 anions in the unit cell. Now in diamond, all the cation places and all the anion places are occupied by what? They are occupied by the carbon atoms. Means each carbon atom will be linked to how many? 4 other carbon atoms in tetrahedral manner. So as a result, right, what we'll be having is the total number of carbon atoms in the unit cell is going to be what? 4 plus 4, 8. So in a diamond, the number of carbon atoms per unit cell is going to be what? 8. And we see that, that is the reason for high strength and the property of diamond, which makes it very, very strong substance. So this is about the similarity between the zinc blende and the diamond structure. So whatever we have in the zinc blende structure, right, just replace both cations as well as anions by the carbon atoms. That is what is the diamond structure. And this is what we have been talking about, the importance of coordination number with regard to the stability of the lattice. So if you have a higher coordination number, what is the exact meaning of that? It basically means that a cation is having more attractive forces with anions, or we are basically having an anion having more attractive forces with cations. So overall what we'll see is that there will be more interaction between oppositely charged ions. So more attractive forces between the oppositely charged ions, hence that will mean what? Extra stability. So higher coordination number will basically mean what? Extra stability. So if you are comparing, right, a zinc blende structure, sodium chloride structure and a cesium chloride structure. So here what is the coordination number? 4. Here what is the coordination number? 6. Here what is the coordination number? 8. So which will be most stable one? Cesium chloride will be most stable because it is having more electrostatic attractive interactions between the ions. So this is about the importance of coordination number on the stability of the ionic crystals. Now the other two parameters which we will talk about are one is the effect of temperature or heating, and the effect of pressure. So these are areas where we can have some theoretical questions. Generally when we increase temperature, right, what would happen is these ions or particles, they would start moving away. So that will decrease the strength of attractive forces between the particles. As a result, what we'll see is that the coordination number is going to decrease. So increasing temperature, right, what is going to happen? Coordination number is going to decrease. Like if you take cesium chloride and keep on heating it, then any substance I'm saying, so in a structure of cesium chloride which is having a coordination number 8:8, it might be changing into NaCl type of structure with coordination number 6:6. So increasing temperature will reduce the coordination number. The effect of pressure will be reverse. Increasing pressure, right, will be increasing the coordination number. If you increase the pressure means coordination number is going to what? Increase. So if because basically like what we have the lattice and we are increasing pressure means what we are basically trying to make all the particles to move more close together, and that is going to result in what increasing of the coordination number. So if we increase pressure on NaCl type of a lattice, then what we see is it is going to move from the 6:6 coordination number to 8:8 coordination number. So that is what we will see in the effect of pressure. The last two structures that we will be discussing in the A2B or AB2 type are one is a fluoride structure, another is the anti-fluoride structure. They'll be very much similar, except that the difference will be the cation places here will be taken by the anions there, and so on. If you look at calcium fluoride, CaF2, this is what is the fluoride structure example. Ca2 plus ions are arranged in the CCP. Remember what we keep on saying, that the anions will form the lattice. So it is not always that the anions are going to form the lattice. We can have examples like fluoride structure. What happens here? The Ca2 plus ions will be forming the CCP arrangement, which means these ions will be at the corners and at the centers of the each face. And the fluoride ions will be occupying the tetrahedral voids. Remember the number of tetrahedral voids will be what? 2n. So the ratio is going to be what? See, since we have 2 tetrahedral voids for every one Ca2 plus ion, the stoichiometry is going to be what? Ca1F2. So the formula will be CaF2. And overall, if you see, each calcium ion will be surrounded by 8 fluoride ions, but each fluoride ion will be surrounded by only 4 calcium ions. So what we say is here, it is not equal coordination number. So for the cation, the coordination number is what? 8. For the anion, the coordination number is what? Only 4. Why this is happening is because the formula of the compound is CaF2. So each calcium will be surrounded by 8 fluoride ions, whereas each fluoride ion is surrounded by only 4 calcium ions. Hence, what we say is it is like 8:4 coordination number. So this is about the coordination number of calcium fluoride or the fluoride structure. What will be the anti-fluoride structure? So anti-fluoride structure is nothing but the arrangement where the cations and anions will take opposite places. Li2O is an example of anti-fluoride structure. So what could be happening here? The oxide ions will form the CCP lattice, and the lithium ions will be occupying the tetrahedral voids. That is what we will be calling as the anti-fluoride structure. So if we have the crystal lattice where the oxide ions are forming the cubic close packing FCC, and the lithium ions are taking the tetrahedral voids. So here what we'll see is that each oxide ion is surrounded by 8 lithium ions, but each lithium is surrounded by only 4 oxide ions. So accordingly, the cation, always we'll give the cation first. Cation coordination number is what? 4. The cation is surrounded by only 4 anions. Anion coordination number is what? 8, because each oxide ion is surrounded by 8 lithium ions. So the coordination number what we say is 4:8. The examples of this anti-fluoride are the first group metal oxides and first group metal sulfides like Na2O, K2O, K2S, Na2S. All of them are examples of the anti-fluoride structure. So these are the other two examples, the fluoride structure and anti-fluoride structure. We will have them under either this A2B type of compound or AB2 type of an compound. Talking about the mixed ionic compounds or the mixed oxides, where we can have different types of anions or different types of cations. We can have the lattice formed by them, and usually what happens in that case is we are not going to discuss all the varieties and examples in that. We'll just take a look at one of the popular oxides of iron, which is the magnetite. So what is a magnetite? Its formula is Fe3O4. So magnetite contains both Fe2 plus ions and Fe3 plus ions, and they will be present in the ratio 2:1. So if you look at the composition, right, we can see the composition as what? The composition which is made by what? FeO and then Fe2O3. So if you look at the Fe3O4, the magnetite as a whole, oxide ions will be forming the CCP. The oxide ions are basically going to form the CCP. And the Fe2 plus ions will occupy the tetrahedral voids. Fe3 plus ions will be distributed between the octahedral voids and tetrahedral voids. So the Fe2 plus ions will be occupying the octahedral voids, and Fe3 plus ions will be occupying what? Octahedral voids and then tetrahedral voids. So this arrangement of the mixed salts or mixed oxides will be in a manner where we'll have the ions taking multiple void places, and this is one example of how mixed salt or a mixed oxide can be existing. So this way, if you go to some other salt, we may have the cations forming the lattice and the anions might occupy different types of voids. So in this overall ionic lattice types, right, what we need to be focusing on is the NaCl type of salt structure and cesium chloride type of salt structure for the theory based questions as well as numericals. And the zinc blend, woodsite, and the fluorite and antifluorite will have questions mostly on the theoretical basis, and we can even look at the examples of these types. So this